Welcome to the Cody Shooting Complex right here in Cody, Wyoming. And of course, range days are always great days. But today we've got something even more special for you. See, we've got 3 brand newly built 1885 Winchesters here to test out today. Neither of these 3 has ever been fired before, so this is going to be fantastic. All 3 of these are just absolute beauties. We built them from scratch right here at Wyoming Armory here in Cody. So stick around, we'll take a little closer look at these beauties and then just see how they shoot. Okay, so first up we've got this beautiful 85. This one's built on an original action. Now this one came to us from a good friend and a great customer from down in Utah, and he sent us this small shank original 1885 Winchester action. It was missing a few parts, so we fit everything up, and then everything else we did basically from scratch. We did this half octagon number 3 weight 28-inch barrel, chambered in 25-35, a great caliber. Fit and finished all the wood, butt plate, did all the finish work. Barrel's been dew light blued, and of course color case hardened receiver. Just an absolute beauty. Now the next 2, we built everything from scratch. These are based on the Montana Vintage Arms actions that our lead gunsmith Keith Kilby took an original action and all the parts up there. They reverse engineered them and make everything right to original. All the parts in these can interchange with original 1885s, which most all other reproduction 85s cannot say that. Now this next one here is for a great friend of mine that's been friends for years. He's a very serious Winchester collector, and like me is partial to 1880 or 1895's, and has a great collection of 73s and 76s as well. Now this one, the reason I mentioned 1895's, this one's chambered in the great caliber of 405. Just really anxious to shoot this old girl. Now this one's got a number 3 weight 30-inch barrel. We got the set triggers, shoots and lever, cheek piece stock fit just to the fellow that had us build this. Keith built the quarter rib for it, and customer supplied the scope, and just turned out incredible. And of course customer picked out the wood, and then we fit and finished everything on this, including that case colors. And look at the big splashes of reds and yellows, just like we see with original high condition Winchesters. No just dull blues and grays on that receiver. Okay, so this one you've seen before if you watch the channel much. This one's a 45-70. It was built a while back to be given away as a prize at a shoot, and then both the promoter of the shoot and the fellow that had it built decided it was maybe over the top. So this one is again this one's actually a 4-weight barrel, 30-inch. This one's in 45-70. So instead of giving this thing away, it's actually on our website for sale now, and we're building another rifle that's maybe a little more restrained for a giveaway for that particular shoot. But this thing is just fantastic, just absolutely beautiful. Has the Montana Vintage Arms front and rear sights on it, and also scope blocks for those who would like to shoot with a little more modern optics. Okay, so to start with, we're just going to put a couple of rounds through this 25-35 small shank original 1885. Now, the fellow that had us build this for him, he didn't send up his tang sight. We didn't put any dovetail in for a barrel rear sight because he didn't want that. So this is purely a function test today, so we don't have a rear sight to go by, but we always like to put at least a couple of rounds through them just to make sure that everything is set up properly, and we can check over the brass and make sure that everything is working just right before we send it out to the customer. Besides, it gives me a chance to shoot some really terrific rifles. So here we go, 25-35. Okay, check out the brass. Everything looks good. Primer's not backing out. Okay, one more just for good measure. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to take a little break, get set up here, because we're going to put the other two on paper. Okay, so first up we're going to shoot this 1885 completely built here in our shop at Cody in 405. And for those of you familiar with the 405, it is a heavy hitting cartridge and it's not a lot of fun to shoot with full powered loads. So these are backed off a little bit and I'm hoping they'll be a little more pleasant, especially here on the bench. A lot of debate between some of the lever gun people about what was the more powerful lever gun cartridge, the 405 or the 5110, but suffice it to say we shoot a fair amount of both and neither's all that pleasant, to tell you the truth. Okay, so this of course is a double set shoots and type set trigger, so we'll go ahead and test the set trigger out as well. And before I got on camera I did test it out a little bit and Keith has this thing dialed in really nicely. So we're set up at 50 yards here because we haven't shot it before and we just want to make sure where we're at. I'm going to take one shot, see where we're at on paper, see if we need to make any adjustments, and then just take a few more to make sure we're consistently where we need to be. Well, that wasn't bad at all. I was expecting a little worse. Sometimes with 1895s, particularly with a crescent butt plate and a 405 with full powered loads, whew, it'll set you back. Let's go see how we did. Okay, so we can see we're pretty seriously low, but the windage is pretty darn good. So we'll leave the windage alone and crank this scope up a little bit and come back and put a few more on paper. And we'll leave the fine adjustments to the owner of the rifle because he's going to use a little bit different loads and he's going to sight things just a little different than we do. So we've cranked the elevation up quite a lot on this thing and we're going to take a 3-shot group with it now and just see how it groups up. I do really like the way this set trigger was set up. Just perfect. Okay, we overshot a little bit. We're just a little bit high now, but that's okay. We'll take a couple more shots with it and just see how consistent it is, or maybe more accurately, how consistent I am. Okay. I think just barely below it. Okay, one more round and we'll go down and have a look. What great fun. This is a wonderful rifle. And beautiful on top of it. Okay, let's see here. All right, let's go see how we did. All right, so here we go. As I mentioned, we're a little bit high now. We overshot, and we're going to have to adjust that windage over to the right just a little bit. Now, I'm going to leave that to the owner of the rifle. He can have the fun of getting this thing dialed right down into that bullseye, but it's definitely ready to go back to its owner. That's a pretty good little group, even if it is only at 50 yards. And I've kind of forgotten what it's like to shoot through a scope. I shoot through open sights almost universally these days. But what a great shooting rifle. Wow. Okay, so here we go with this absolutely gorgeous 85 4570. This one with the set triggers, just like the other one we built. We'll take our one shot, see where it's at, see if we've got to make adjustments. First shot ever through this rifle, and then we'll come back and do a 3-shot group. Okay, we can see that our elevation is really high. Windage is really pretty good. We've made our elevation adjustment now, and we'll go ahead and shoot a 3-shot group and just see how she groups up. Well, I don't see where it hit, which that's probably a good sign. It isn't out in some of that big white area around. Okay. Oh, I do love this rifle. It's going to make somebody one heck of a good long-range shooter. Okay, one more. We're just shooting some factory Federal loads. Of course, this thing, whoever ends up with this rifle is going to get it dialed in, I'm sure, with all sorts of load development. But my goodness, what a beauty. Just love it. Okay, let's go see how we did. Okay, so we're still a little bit high and a little bit left, but that grouped up pretty nicely considering it's just factory Federal loads right from the local sporting goods store. I'm sure we could tighten that up a whole lot better with some load development and maybe a little better shooter than the guy behind that rifle. Well, what an enjoyable day at the range today to be shooting these 3 newly custom-made 1885 Winchesters. And I may be a little prejudiced or biased, but I don't think you could buy a higher quality, better made Winchester 1885 anywhere in the world. You know, our lead gunsmith Keith Kilby is probably the preeminent 1885 gunsmith on the planet. These things are made in the old world ways, just the way that Winchester made them 150 years ago or 140 years ago. You know, hand scraped in wood, everything done to the very best of our abilities. Well, thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Until next time, happy trails from the Cody Shooting Complex in Cody, Wyoming.